This video is to help you set up and commission the MACH Engineering PPT-24 for operation. The PPT-24 is a chemical-resistant poly-vapor scrubber unit that can be used to direct chemical-laden vapors through it. Those vapors can be removed by a solution that is circulated up to the top of both towers and throughout the entire reservoir. To set up the unit, it's best to find a level area that is closest to the process. Set the PPT-24 in the desired area, making sure it is on level ground. The unit can also be set up inside of a containment if necessary. Check all bolts to verify that they didn't come loose during shipment. Do not over-tighten the bolts. If you find any bolts to be loose, use a 1/4-inch drive torque wrench to torque the loose bolts to 70 inch-pounds. All tower and flange bolts have been torqued from the factory. Connect vapor inlet piping to the 6-inch, 150-pound vapor inlet flange. Do not introduce vapors to the unit at this time. Verify that all liquid piping union connections and union valves are hand-tight. Have a licensed electrician connect the 460-volt 3-phase power to the pigtail wrapped around the main control boxes. Do not test pumps until the unit has been filled to at least the minimum level. Testing the pumps without liquid in the reservoir will result in immediate pump failure. Open the suction valve and discharge valve to the circulation pump and verify that the drain valve is closed. Remember, never test the circulation pump without liquid in the reservoir and to always fill reservoir to minimum level before checking the circulation pump for proper rotation or immediate pump failure will occur. Test circulation pump and blower for proper motor rotation. If the circulation pump or blower are not turning in the correct direction, have a qualified electrician disconnect the unit from electrical power and rectify the situation. The Rosemount pH controller is mounted on the pump side of the scrubber system. The pH sensor preamp are pre-wired into the pH controller. The LMI chemical metering pump is powered by the Rosemount pH controller located on the pump side of the scrubber. The system was shipped with the pH sensor installed in the wired pre-amp fitting and secured in the pH sensor fitting T in the pH loop. The pH loop was filled with pH sensor storage solution for transport to keep the pH sensor wet. While the pH sensor is installed, leave the sample and drain valves closed to keep the sensor wet. Never allow the sensor to be exposed to air, which degrades the life of the pH sensor. The LMI chemical metering pump is securely mounted to the top of the PPT-24 reservoir. Only remove it for regular maintenance. Refer to the LMI manual for operation instructions. Once these PPT-24 system checks have been verified, turn the circulation pump on, letting the system equalize for 5 minutes. Verify that each tower has achieved a steady 20 gallons per minute. If the flow meters are showing less than their set gallons per minute, the spargers might be clogged. Shut power off to circulation pump and check the spargers for debris and retest the flow. When the system is showing to be stable, slowly open the vapor source to the scrubber. Once inlet flow is established and both the inlet and outlet of the scrubber are open, the blower may be turned on. Never run the blower with a closed inlet or outlet, or catastrophic blower failure will occur. If dilution air is needed, fresh air can be brought into the inlet by opening the 6-inch butterfly valve located on the inlet T above the inlet. When the job is over, power off the blower, but keep the circulation pump running for an additional 5 minutes to allow any residual vapors to be encapsulated in the scrubber solution. Isolate the vapors from the scrubber unit and shut down the circulation pump. Drain the reservoir by hooking a chemical hose to the drain valve on the side of the reservoir and allow it to gravity drain into the containers. Open the fill port and drain the reservoir into drums, totes or other containers for disposal. Do not use the circulation pump to drain the reservoir. Pump damage will occur if the level in the reservoir is below minimum level. An optional method to draining the reservoir would be by using the AOD pump. Hook a drain line onto the optional discharge valve above the AOD pump, and closing the discharge valve that generally allows flow to the top of each tower is a good way to remove spent solution if another method is not available. Air will have to be hooked up to the AOD pump air regulator to power the pump. Fill the reservoir at least halfway with water, or water and neutralizing chemical, and turn on the circulation pump for 30 minutes. Repeat this process if needed or until the pH of the water is neutral and there are no signs of residue in the reservoir. Cleaning out the scrubber after the job is complete is important. These steps should be closely followed to ensure the safety of anyone who might come in contact with the scrubber once the job is completed. Sludge develops over time, which will need to be removed. When the job is completed and the process has been removed from the PPT-24 scrubber, carefully open both 18-inch service ports on the side of the reservoir. Inspect entire reservoir for odors, sludge, and residue. Totally drain or vacuum out the solution in the reservoir. If needed, wash off the interior walls of the reservoir to remove any scum or solids debris. Remember to keep the pH sensor submerged in water at all times to prolong the life of the sensor, even during cleaning or for transportation back to MACH engineering. Never remove service ports on the bottom of the towers unless the packing needs to be replaced, as this is their only function. We hope this has been a helpful video. If you have any further questions or concerns, please contact MACH Engineering.